Buttons. What are you doing, Buttons? Are you in there? He's in there. Boys and girls, look at Buttons. What is he doing? He's all set for our calendar. We can hang that up. But what do you think? Why do you think he is all in this? Buttons, why do you have a hat on and it's covering your beautiful eyes? Should we take this off? What? Oh, it's icy out. Yes, it is icy out. And what? Oh, that's true. Okay, you're going to tell them. All right. He said our story today is about a snowsuit, and he looked in his closet and he didn't have any. None? No. But he thought he would borrow a hat, and he thought maybe if he could get wrapped up in this scarf, he would stay warm enough. Oh my goodness, Buttons, you're all twisted. Phew, does that feel better? It does feel better. Okay, you are all twisted today, Buttons. So were you outside in the ice? You were? You didn't fall, did you? Okay, I'm glad. Well, we're going to put Buttons' outside garments to the side, okay? And he did remember to give us our button for our calendar. Can you see what that is? It is the number 27. So when you watch this tomorrow, probably tomorrow, hopefully, or the next day, you'll see that it is January 27th. Buttons, can you help put this up? All right, we're going to put this in our calendar. Okay, we've got the 24th, 25th, 26th. Here's our hole. I bet 27 comes in there. All right, Buttons, you give it a push. Oh, good job. And then came 28, 29, 30, and 31. Boys and girls, Buttons says there are only 4 more days left in January. 4 more days after tomorrow. Wow, it sure is going fast. What? Oh, you said Jack and Winnie. Yes, it is time for our weather. Today is pretty tricky, boys and girls. Let's see, what kind of weather are we going to put on our weather board today? What do you think? I know some of you don't have school today because the weather today is so messy. It's very confusing outside. I'm going to get Jack and Winnie. Buttons, you're just going to sit over there. So here's Winnie today. And here is Jack. All right, now they're not ready for the outside. What kind of a tree do you think we need today? I think so. We're going to put our snowy tree back up there. I saw an icicle outside, 2 icicles hanging off of my tree from all of that. Now, we haven't been putting up any clouds. What do you think? Should we put some clouds up? Should we put rains? Yes, we had some rain. Did you see any snow? And there was some snow and there was ice, but I don't have any pictures of ice. I just have snow and rain. So this was coming down, and I'm going to put some more clouds because it is very cloudy. The sun is not shining. And we've got our grass. Some of our grass is still showing, but then I noticed some of mine had snowy ice covering the grass. So I'm going to put a little bit of snow over on that one. And let's see. Can I get our snow down here under Winnie? Winnie should have boots on, shouldn't she? So what kind of coat do you think we're going to need today? Do you think they need their winter bundle-up coat, which we are going to have a story about a snowsuit, or a raincoat? It is doing both. This is tough. I think I'm going to go with the snow coat. All right. Now today, they do have their little dots on. They should stick. So there's Winnie's coat. And we're going to put Jack's coat on him. And since it is raining, how about we put their hats on? That'll at least keep the rain off of their hair and from it getting all wet. We'll put Winnie's up. There we go. So I think they are all set for the day's weather. Now tomorrow when you're watching this or whatever day you're watching it, you go look out the window and you see if your weather is just like Jack and Winnie's. Okay? All right. So we're going to put hello buttons. What you wanted to see? Yes, they have hats on too. Oh, you like Jack's coat, don't you? It matches you. I don't think it will fit, but that's okay. All right, we're going to put our weather folks away. Oh, buttons, help me lift. Good job, buttons. All right. Now, we are going to start our story. What? You have something to tell me. Oh, it's a clue. Okay, what do you want it? Are you sure? Okay. Buttons wants to show you something. Remember our button box last week? Okay. Buttons wants to show you he has some buttons. He has a mitten. And look at this, Buttons. Oh my goodness. He also has a hat. And he has, you want to show them this one? Okay, you can show them that one. Can you see that, boys and girls? It's a little sweater. So I think our story today is about snowy weather. Do you think? I think it is. It must be about snowy weather. We are seeing all sorts of cozy clothing. Let's see what happens. All right, Buttons, you sit right over here, and we're going to get our storybook out. All right, boys and girls, let's see what it is today. How about this one? I think Buttons was right. Thomas's Snowsuit. And it is written by a wonderful author, a man named Munsch, Robert Munsch. Thomas's Snowsuit. Look at this, boys and girls. Look at Thomas's face. Do you ever look like that when your mommy bundles you up and you have all your cozy warm things on? Sometimes we have to put those on so we can go out and play. Let's see what Thomas says. One day, Thomas's mother bought him a nice new brown snowsuit. When Thomas saw that snowsuit, he said, "That is the ugliest thing I have ever seen in my life. If you think that I am going to wear that ugly snowsuit, you are crazy." Thomas's mother said, "We will see about that." The next day, when it was time to go to school, the mother said, "Thomas, please put on your snowsuit." And Thomas said, "And no." Uh-oh. Then let's see what happens. His mother jumped up and down and said, "Thomas, put on that snowsuit." And Thomas said, "No." So Thomas's mother picked up Thomas in one hand. She picked up the snowsuit in the other hand, and she tried to stick them together. They had an enormous fight, and when it was done, Thomas was in the snowsuit. Look at the room. Oh my goodness. I don't think Thomas wanted to go in that, did he? Thomas went off to school and hung up his snowsuit. When it was time to go outside, all the other kids jumped into their snowsuits and ran out the door. But not Thomas. The teacher looked at Thomas and said, "Thomas, please put on your snowsuit." And Thomas said, "And no." The teacher jumped up and down and said, Thomas, put on that snowsuit. And Thomas said, no. Oh, goodness, Thomas. What do you think's going to happen? So, the teacher picked up Thomas in one hand, picked up the snowsuit in the other hand, and she tried to stick them together. They had an enormous fight, and when they were all done, the teacher was wearing Thomas's snowsuit, and Thomas was wearing the teacher's dress. It's a little big for Thomas, and it's a little small for the teacher. When the teacher saw what she was wearing, she picked up Thomas in one hand and tried to get him back into his snowsuit. They had an enormous fight. When they were done, the snowsuit and the dress were tied into a great big knot on the floor. And Thomas and the teacher were in their underclothes. Just then, the door opened and in walked the principal. The teacher said, "It's Thomas. He won't put on his snowsuit." The principal gave his very best principal look and said, "Thomas, put on your snowsuit." And Thomas said, "You're right, boys and girls. No." So the principal picked up Thomas in one hand and he picked up the teacher in the other hand, and he tried to get them back into their clothes. When he was done, the principal was wearing the teacher's dress, the teacher was wearing the principal's suit, and Thomas was still in his underwear. Then, from far out in the playground, someone yelled, "Thomas, come and play." Thomas ran across the room, jumped into his snowsuit, got his boots on in 2 seconds, and ran out the door. The principal looked at the teacher and said, "Hey, you have on my suit. Take it off right now." The teacher said, "Oh no, you have on my dress. You take off my dress first." Well, they argued and argued and argued, but neither one wanted to change first. Look at the principal's snazzy socks. They do match her dress. Finally, Thomas came in from recess. He looked at the principal and he looked at the teacher. Thomas picked up the principal in one hand. He picked up the teacher in the other hand. They had an enormous fight, and Thomas got everybody back into their clothes. Is everyone back to normal? The teacher has her dress on, he has his suit on, and look, Thomas has his snowsuit on. The next day, the principal quit his job and moved to Arizona, where nobody ever wears a snowsuit. There it is always hot, so you don't have to, and it never snows there. So do you think the principal is happy he doesn't have to fight with Thomas? Why do you think Thomas didn't want to put on his snowsuit? Can it be itchy? Maybe some days. Could it be too bulky? Sometimes do you ever feel like you're just standing there and you're a big fat marshmallow and you can't move in the snow? But did you notice what happened when Thomas's friends asked him to come out and play? What did Thomas do? He went out right away. 2 seconds, and he was all set to play. So I guess Thomas really didn't mind that snowsuit. It was just a matter of who was asking him to put it on. He wanted to go play with his friends. So was Thomas being kind? Yes, Thomas was being kind. He wasn't being kind to the principal and his mom and his teacher, was he? No, he needed to listen. Oh, here comes our friend back. What did you think of the story, Buttons? Oh, you thought Thomas should have listened. Yeah, Thomas should have listened at first, but that was a silly story. Sometimes we have silly stories and we just have to giggle at them because it was really silly. So I want you boys and girls to, when you're out playing in the snow with your friends, I want you to remember, what's that? Button says to have hot chocolate. That would be good, but that's not what I always tell them. Button says he would like you to be kind when you're out playing, okay? Now, boys and girls, remember there will be another video from Miss Tracy, from me, and I'll be doing a craft that goes along with this story of Thomas's snowsuit. So you come back and you see what it is, okay? So I will see you next week, and we will have another story. And you remember, these stories that I'm reading to you, you can get at the Her Library, okay? You can get those at the library if you like to read it. All right, so boys and girls, I'm going to say goodbye. Be a friend. Yes, be kind. And if it gets really cold out, wrap up in your snowsuit. Okay, take care. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. All right, turn us off, Buttons. Good job.